It's probably been a few days since Arc browser was made available for Windows, and user opinion seems mixed on it. Most people are not convinced that this is some Chrome alternative. We've already seen the usability of it in a separate video. I thought let's run some benchmarks and see. I'm going to try to run these benchmarks in a realistic environment. Ideally, this benchmark.org requires that you kill all the apps in the background, have no other tabs open and all that. I mean, that's not realistic in my opinion. Who uses their PC like that? A browser will have other apps in the background as well, right? So we'll keep it as it is and we'll run this test one browser at a time and see how it performs. That should give us a realistic understanding of how it works. Let's start with the speedometer test. I'll first run it on Chrome and then on Arc. Well, we have the results. Arc browser scores a little bit higher than Chrome. And I noticed that there is an update ready to install for Arc. You know what? I'm going to update that and try again.
2 very boring minutes later.
Okay, this time around both browsers scored a little bit higher, but still Arc is better. This speed test is supposed to indicate how quickly a page loads, and just for comparison I ran the same thing on Firefox as well, and well, it's quite a bit behind both of these browsers. This is just a standard version of Firefox, not nightly or anything. Anyway, let's carry on with the Jetstream 2 test. This test is slightly more advanced than the previous one, so we'll see how it performs. Oh, so Chrome pulled ahead on this one, 204 versus 198. I ran the same test again one by one, and well, the result is still similar. The difference is smaller this time around, but Chrome is still better in this case. So that means any web page with advanced scripts on it, Chrome may handle it a little bit better. Let's finish off with the final test, Motion Mark. This is primarily a graphically driven test. They recommend I should do this test full screen. Fine, I'll do that. I suppose it procedurally creates some graphical elements and see how the browser handles it. It starts with simple patterns and gets progressively more complex and faster. Okay, done. Chrome scored 1422 score at 60 frames per second. Let's do the same thing on Arc now. Okay, Arc scored higher, 1562 versus Chrome's 1422. I'll run this test one more time and see what happens. Yep, still higher. Arc scored 1527 versus Chrome's 1410. Again, these may not completely reflect reality all the time because from a user perspective, I can't really tell much of a difference. But that's the whole point why I did this benchmark in the first place, because since I couldn't tell any difference from a usability standpoint, let's see what the technical differences are, even if it just may be around 2% here and there. But Arc browser may be better in terms of privacy because it comes with uBlock Origin installed and the company says that they'll never sell data to any third party. Chrome doesn't do that. They openly track and sell your data because duh. Of course they would. Why wouldn't they? It gives them access to a massive pool of data and Google loves it. And even though Arc for Windows is still pretty buggy, it's not completely finished or polished yet, I would say it is still competent and can match Chrome or even exceed Chrome, at least from a synthetic benchmark perspective. It does have some weird issues, like one user pointed out, you can't pause downloads halfway. I didn't even notice that last time. That's a strange thing to omit. But it has other design elements that I find interesting. For example, the way it opens extensions in these tiny floating windows. I like that. Not that it's useful or anything, I just think it's an interesting approach. Plus it's pretty speedy and has good graphics, so it's an interesting user experience. Personally, I'm still sticking to Brave browser. I don't see a reason to switch from that. But once they kind of finish up this product for Windows, I think this might be a suitable alternative to Chrome, mainly from a privacy perspective, but maybe from a performance standpoint as well, a little bit, as we saw from the benchmarks. Have you tried Arc for Windows yet? I heard that Arc browser experience for Mac is significantly better. If you've used it on Mac and Windows, can you tell me the main differences? As a PC user, I'm curious to know.